Whoa, it's the Yewllusion reporting from somewhere on spaceship Earth. I want to thank, right off the bat, I want to thank Julie B. Keep the last name anonymous, but Julie B sent Owl some radness, some books. She loves this one. And all I have is the cover for this one because we read this tonight, the bedtime book. And also this rad, super rad t-shirt. Julie, you got the bird's number dialed. He's fired up on you. I'm fired up on you. Thank you. It's kind of cold tonight. And I have the name for who made this hat, except I don't know where the piece of paper was. We're going to catch up with that eventually. So I'd made a video about this earlier, but I don't know. It seemed a little weird. So today today my lower back molar started hurting. And I'm like, oh no, this isn't a good sign. And why it's not a good sign is this. So I went, I had a root canal the beginning of the year for my top tooth so they could put a crown on it, right? So I went in to get the crown on Wednesday, which was $1,500. And I went in there and I was like, my bottom tooth's been bugging me lately. And he's like, let me check it out. And he's like, oh, your bottom tooth's cracked. It's like cracked in half, or it's just cracked wide open. He's like, I got to give you a crown for that. I'm like, all right. He's like, so it's like another $1,500. So my trip to the dentist on Wednesday went from $1,500 to $2,800, just like that. Boom. Just a matter of like being there 10 minutes. Just whammy. So I took it in stride, It was like at least I was able to do both of them at the same time versus like multiple visits, right? Because if it had happened later, I don't know if I would have been so eager to go back. So anyway, he went in there and what it was there's an old filling from like 30 years ago back there, and it leaked, and it had caused some rot, and my tooth cracked. So he was done. He's like, look, if it hurts, you might need to go get a root canal. He's like, you'll know when it hurts. So I had some ice cream earlier today just to really test it out because it was hurting this morning, but I was like, it was like 5 days ago. Maybe it's just like pain. So I ate some ice cream and the hurt lasted. And I was like, oh man, $1,500, right? It's like $1,500. It's like what, 6 weeks into 2019, ignore it, 2019, and I'm already like out $3,000, but I know I gotta go get a root canal. So I'm out $4,500. My brain instantly goes into fear. Like, oh my gosh, how am I gonna pull it off? Like it just goes into the whole, it just goes into fear, man. Trying to pull it off this different way, believe in the art, sell the coffee mug, sell some stickers, some t-shirts, sustain it, but then all of a sudden you get whammied, right? And again, I have to always override the voice inside my head with the truth. God is love and God is abundance. There is no shortage here. There is no shortage. I look at like, if I had to get this kind of dental care 5 years ago, I couldn't have done it. I would have been SOL, but I can, right? It makes me super nervous about the finances, but 2019 19, ignore it. And so I was like, all right, like, what's this really about? Like, what's the voice inside my head? Why is it getting me into fear? And it's getting me into fear because it doesn't want me to realize the truth of abundance. And then I get into the truth of abundance, and I'm like, what is that? Like, what is the abundance about? Because I feel the abundance of God in my life. But there's a part of me that I think doesn't fully activate it. I don't fully I think my nature is like I'm a humble on a certain level. Maybe humble's not the right word. I don't know, I'm practical. Maybe it's I'm practical. I'm humble, I'm practical. Like, yeah, this is a super outgoing thing we do here on the YouTube, staring at the camera, talking to people, being that kind of guy. But at the end of the day, like, I'm very like down to earth about it all. So I don't really view it as any other thing than us making contact. And then I was thinking about something about manifesting abundance and really manifesting some ridiculousness. And this sounds weird, but it's that thing where like I realize I've been manifesting like cool stuff all along, but I'm not manifesting the machine, if you will, like a machine, an economic machine, right? Because we know that there's no such thing as money. The Federal Reserve's proved that. Currency has proved that. It's all energy. So we take the energy, and the energy wants energy, and it snowballs itself. And so God wants creativity, wants creation. But God also wants us to dream big, to go big or go home. And I heard something Owl and I were talking the other day, right? Chit-chatting in the car about something. And, you know, we have full-blown conversations now. But he's 3.5, so our full-blown conversations are about like Hot Wheels and train tracks and monster trucks and stuff like that. So we were talking about Hot Wheels, like full-blown conversation about Hot Wheels. And he asked me, he's like, what kind of Hot Wheels do you like? And I was like, well, I like the old muscle car Hot Wheels. If I'm going to get a Hot Wheel at the store, I'll get the old muscle car kind. And he likes trucks and dump trucks and things like that. And so he was like, do you want a big one? Because when he's like, I want a big one, he means like a big one, like one on the street. Like he'll see like a dump truck. He's like, I want a big one. That means he's like, wants like the big one. And I was like, do I want a big one? And I was like, nah. But then I put it through the lens of Owl for a minute. And I was like, yeah, why not? Why not have a big one? If I can appreciate the little one, why not a big one? And it kind of hit me today thinking about how much my tooth hurt and why I was afraid the thing about the money. And I was like, oh, I gotta ignore it. 2019 is ignore the fear, ignore the chaos, ignore the problems. I've been through like the battlefield the last 9 months, right? And why is that? Is because God is using me as an example of overcoming obstacles by having faith. Because God's using all sorts of people and ways to communicate with people. Because we've seen that all the other mechanisms, churches and religions, they're suspect for a whole element. But that now there's no time to fence it anymore. So we're all supposed to kind of be aiming towards our personal relationship and our spirituality to find our personal relationship or vice versa. Anyway, God's calling us all in, and he's using people that are regular and creative to spread the message, because I'm not affiliated with churches and doctrines. I'm just a guy who picks up his Bible, who reads, who tries to understand life and goes through it, but hangs on to his faith. What does this have to do with my tooth and muscle cars? Well, so I'm sitting there and I'm thinking about the muscle car thing that Al was talking about, and I'm thinking about my tooth, and I was like, I need to manifest an economic machine. And if I don't have anything to manifest it for, right? Like, and this, it sounds superficial, but it is, but it isn't. So I was like, all right, like I need to like manifest some big ticket items. Not because I need big ticket items. I'm perfectly content with my little house and my Nissan and going to Target for my clothes. I'm totally cool with all that. But how is that going to employ people? Because it suddenly hit me that the next real phase of it is to sustain other people's existence through the energy field that God has created for me. And I was like, wow, that's radical, because I've always been an employee. I've never been an employer. I've been a boss before, but I've never been an employer with my own economic machine. And I was like, that's what I need to manifest. And I was like, why do I need to? Part of manifesting that is like, you've got to like spread it around. So I was like, I need to get a muscle car. Today I was like, somehow I was like, I'm going to fix, the way I'm going to fix my tooth is by spending the money on it, by manifesting a muscle car. It's very like abstract what I'm getting at. But I was like, because I don't really want a muscle car. I don't need a muscle car. I have no desire for a muscle car. And yet, through the lens of Owl, why wouldn't I get a muscle car? Like he doesn't know. He's just like, yeah, dude, like, do you want a muscle car or not? And I was like, sure. Because if Owl could get into a dump truck, he would. He'd be like, I'll take a dump truck, no problem. And I was like, all right, I'm going to get an electric green, like, muscle car. Like a souped up Chevy Nova, dude. Yeah, there we go. Souped up Chevy Nova. Peel out the smoke out of the tires and the whole thing. And it's not that I need a muscle car. It's because I need a muscle car because you need to employ, like you need a garage and you need to like, it creates an economic machine, right? I mean, it's so ridiculous, but it also goes with like, I need to manifest a property. But the only way any of these things come, right? Like it's like I got to have the targets of what I need manifest. And then the reason I'm manifesting those is to manifest the economic machine to manifest those, right? Like I got to have a reason why I'm creating the machine, or I can just get by selling my art and my t-shirts, you know? But today it hit me of like, that's why I'm afraid to like go spend $1,500 on a root canal, is because it interferes with the simple making art, selling stickers, t-shirt, just getting by enough. God's like, dude, I need you to go big, dude. I need you to go big for me. I need you to really be an example of a dude who started out in a crappy little 10-foot square trailer, and you've gone on this journey, and you're doing it because of your love for your personal Savior, Jesus Christ, man. Because it's going to be an example for those who haven't taken the leap into the next bigger dimension, that on this lower dimension, if we have faith and we have big ideas and big dreams, they will all come true because there is no shortage. There's only abundance. And I need you. It was like God talking to me through my tooth today, dude. Was like, I need you to go big. And dude, if it's a muscle car as something to look at in your mind, because it's so out of my parameters. That's what I'm realizing is like, I need to get uncomfortable in a good way. I spent the last 3 months uncomfortable in a bad way, man. And if I can get through being uncomfortable in a bad way like I have for the last 3 to 6 months, I think I can get uncomfortable in a good way, right? And that's what it was about for me. I was like, oh, it's shifting my energy field into like the new dimension, right? Like I've been thinking a lot about it, like just how much like I want a family. Like, I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened to my people, man. I don't know. But I realized that like I'm a good human being. I have nothing but the best intentions in my soul. I may be a pain in the ass, but I'm a real believer. I'm a believer. I'm an optimist, man. And I have faith, and and maybe that's what it was. Maybe that's why the people left my life, was because they weren't heading towards God. Maybe that wasn't important to them. I don't know. But I don't care anymore. What I realize now is my relationship with God is the most important thing in my life. And I'm not making these YouTube videos for any sort of other reason than to express God's word. Because I could go on political rants all day. I could make goofy movies about this or that, and I could be crazy, but that's not what God has me doing. God has me publicly going through the most agonizing stuff possible for me to show the truth that you can overcome any obstacle in your life with faith to a God of your understanding. And my God is Jesus Christ. It's my God personal, the trifecta. I got that wrong at the end. I almost pulled it off, dude. But that's what it's about. I'm just a man. I'm just full of flaws and foibles. And you know what? We're getting a muscle car in the dream, and a compound, and a bunch of high frequency tribe members that are employees, and we're taking it to the next level. I need to manifest big. I need to manifest a cameraman and a sound engineer and an editor, and keep the dude pumping. Like I go to a t-shirt guy out in the middle of Valley that Max found, and why I stick with him is because he's an old Vietnam vet, dude. Like, he knows, like, I could go to a cheaper guy, I wouldn't talk to him, but I'm stick with this old Vietnam vet who's slow and in the most inconvenient place ever, because like, that's who I am. I'm not a dude who's looking to make a buck at the expense of everybody else. I'm the dude who's trying his very best to do it the right way. But it's time for me to actually spread my wings and truly fly like the most gnarly bird ever. That's what I was been tripping out about all day, and it all started with my tooth, and I heard God through Owl's question about muscle cars. Does that make any sense, what we're up to next? Anyway, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, because we got to promote this thing, because we're about to take it to the next level. We really are. Like it's coming like a stampede of buffalo, man. It is coming, dude. I can see the clouds in the horizon. I can hear the hoof beats, man. I've been through the war. Good times are coming, man. Good times are coming. Good times are coming. So yeah, get some coffee mugs, some stickers, subscribe, support the channel, get the word out, send an email, whatever, man. This is a team effort. We're all doing this together. And we're all, a rising tide lifts all boats. So, you know what I mean? We're doing this together, people. All right, that's what I've been tripping out on a Sunday night, dude. That's what I got for you after all weekend. All right, long video, but whatever. I think I got it done. I could chit chat for a while. I'm kind of fired up, dude. Bird's sleeping, dude. I go on about the bird right now. I'm so fired up. He's home. I love having my bird at home. Anyway, it's the Yewllusion. I'm out.